Now we can discuss each thermodynamics property, each psychometric property one by one. So first one is over temperature, dry bulb temperature. So dry bulb temperature is basically a temperature that we measure with the standard thermometer that has no water on its surface. So basically the temperature of dry air is basically the dry bulb temperature. So on psychometric chart, at the bottom in this way the this dry bulb temperature is shown, and these are lines of this dry bulb temperature. So next one is wet bulb temperature. So wet bulb temperature is a temperature recorded by thermometer when the bulb is enveloped by cotton wick saturated with water. So let's suppose we have a thermometer, and when we um, envelop this cotton with saturated waters, or the water or something that cotton that contains some droplets of water, then we measure the dry bulb temperature of environment. So on psychometric chart, dry bulb temperature is shown with the help of these line. The line in this direction show the wet bulb temperature. So the next property of psychometry is enthalpy. Enthalpy is basically the measure of heat energy in the air due to sensible heat and latent heat. The air in environment due to sensible and latent heat is basically enthalpy. So on psychometric chart, these are line enthalpy lines, and their unit is BTU per pound of dry air. So these lines show the enthalpy. These are enthalpy lines on psychometric chart. So next is relative humidity. So relative humidity is basically measure of the amount of water air can hold at certain temperature. So relative humidity is basically the amount of water that that an air hold at any time is the basically the relative humidity. So the relative humidity is shown in percentage. So 10, 20, 30% relative humidity is shown. So this is the formula of relative humidity. Relative humidity is also the ratio of amount of moisture that a given amount of air is holding, and the amount of water that um, at that time the amount of air can hold. Or it is also the ability of the amount of air that can hold, amount of water that air can hold, and the capacity of air that amount of water air can be holding. This is the ratio between these two is basically relative humidity. Let's suppose we have this volume of air, and air uh, have having holding capacity of 2 droplets of water, but it can hold only 1 droplet. So it means that the air can hold 50% um, of water of its capacity. So its relative humidity is 50%.